Hey guys, I hope you're ready to work out. This workout today can be done at home. It can be done literally anywhere. All you'll need is a chair, and if you have a hard surface and you don't want your bones pressing into the floor so much, you can use a yoga mat or a really big squishy mat. Other than that, you need some water. And through the course of these exercises, if you need to pause and take a break, that's okay. I will actually be doing the workout with you, so you can follow along with my pacing. I'll also give you a variety of different ways you can do each exercise, so you can play along with whichever one gives you the most challenge, and you can hold the technique. So see if you can stay within those two parameters. It challenges you enough, but you can still hold the technique. So to get started, first, hopefully you've warmed up first. I'll post a link to a joint mobility video if you haven't already, so it'll be somewhere at the top of the screen somewhere. So you can click on that link, go ahead and go through that joint mobility, and then come back to this. The first exercise we're going to do is some burpees. Woo. Way to start it out, right? This one, my head might be a little cut off here, but I'm more concerned about what your knees are doing more than anything, keeping your knees safe. Also, with each of these exercises, we're doing 3 sets of 12 reps each, meaning we're gonna do the exercise 12 times, take a break for 30 seconds, and then we're gonna do that again 2 more times with a break in between. All right, to get started, let's break down our burpee. So the burpee is a mix between 2 different exercises. I don't know if I'm in screen, there we go. 2 different exercises. One, we have the squat, and you're gonna transition to a plank, and then back to a squat. So you wanna make sure those 3 positions, squat to plank, back to a squat, are all there. So for your squat, you're gonna stand with your feet about hip width apart, toes pointing forward. First thing I'm going to do is I'm gonna push my hips back, first thing, even before I bend my knees. So I'm pushing my hips back, and then I'll go ahead and bend the knees, keeping them behind the toes and keeping the chest upright. Now we have some options here. We can either A, come back to a flat foot position, or B, coming off the heels, or C, do a little mini jump. Noting how with the heel raise and the jump, my hips are going back first thing, making sure my knees stay behind the toes. That'll help protect your joint. The second thing is the plank. So whether you're doing the plank on the chair or on the floor, all the components are the same. You're gonna have the hands on the floor of the chair. You're gonna step back into your plank position, the spine in line with the legs. Watching that the hips don't sag. Really tuck the hips under, press through the heels, press down into the floor or chair, and then that's your plank. To come back to your squat though, you wanna make sure, again, that those squat components are there. You have the knees behind toes, hips are back, chest is up. Now, to put it all together, we're gonna start with the chair here. Again, squat to plank to squat. So standing in front of my chair, I'm going to squat down, then place my hands on the chair, step back into my plank, pause there for a moment, make sure I feel those abs, and then I'll walk my feet to the front again hip width apart, into my squat, and then you can do your different variations. So again, hands on the chair, step back to your plank, step back to your squat, and then you can do a heel raise, or again, you can do a jump at that point as well, and then go into your next one. For a little bit more challenge, you can bring it to the floor. So again, you can start how I started my plank position. Find your squat, lift the chest up, do whatever variety you like, step back into your plank. So that's your burpee. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm gonna demonstrate a couple of them on the chair, a couple of them on the floor. Again, pick whichever one that works best for you. Again, it's challenging, but you can still hold your technique. So let's go ahead and get started. Find your squat first. Squat down, step into your plank. Here we go, back to your squat, and that's 1. Here we go, step into your plank, back to your squat, and that's 2. I'm gonna add a heel raise to that one. Step back into your squat, back to your squat. 3. There you go, you can go at this pace. 4, take your time. 5, really find that plank, don't rush it. Really tuck that tailbone, feel the abs. 6. There you go. 7. We'll do a couple on the floor. Stepping up to my squat. 8. Lock in my plank here even still. 9. Again, you have that heel raise option. Stepping into your plank. Here we go. Or your flat foot. 10. 2 more. 11. Last one. Best one. For the set. 12. All right. I know it's really tempting here to sit down. See if you can stay standing, walk around, catch your breath, grab a drink. Because again, that 30 seconds is gonna fly back real quick. Whew. So we're about halfway through our break right now. Continue to breathe, reevaluate, see what you can do better on the next round. That first round is kind of like a little bit of a warm-up. See what you can do better this next one. Again, I'll see if I can divide it between the chair and the floor. All right, ready? Set number 2, here we go. Squat, hands on the chair, to plank, lock it in, back to the chair. 1, to the plank, to the squat, 2, good, and 3, and 4, 5, 6, halfway through, 7, take your time, make sure it's clean, 8, 9, 10, good job, 11, last one, and 12. Woo. All right, 2 sets are done. Again, I'm bowing forward here, just so you can see my face in the screen, but I would recommend you stand upright, get all that breath in your lungs, take a deep inhale, so you make those exhales longer than your inhale. Again, reevaluate. This is your last set, last chance to make it good. Whew, about 5 seconds left. Let's go ahead and get position. Here we go. Squat to plank. Back to your squat. And lift. That's 1. To your plank. To squat. 2. Here we go. Walking that tailbone tuck with that plank. 3. Go. Knees behind toes. 4. And 5. 6. There we go. And a couple on the floor here. 7. And position those feet correctly. 8. Don't forget to breathe. 9, almost there. So close. 10. Feel that booty squeeze. 11. Here we go, last one. Last one, best one, folks. Woo. 12. Good deal. Again, breathe, take your time. Again, I'm kneeling to be in screen, so I can make eye contact with you. But again, be up, around, moving, grab a drink, which I'm gonna do now as well. Prepping for our next exercise. All right, our next one is plank up down. You can take our chair out of the way. Actually, no, yeah. Put that out on the screen, there we go. So plank up downs. You're gonna start in a tabletop position. This is your first level that you can do, first option. So tabletop is where your shoulders are over your wrists and the hips are over the knees. I'm gonna roll my elbow pits forward and press into the ground. I'm actively pressing my knees into the ground as well, creating a tailbone tuck and then really engaging those abs here. I really want to keep those abs engaged. Continue to tilt the pelvis, feel the squeeze of the abs as I lower down into my lower position here. This is the down part of the plank up down. And then, of course, we gotta go back up. So placing the hands underneath the shoulders again, still holding that tight abdomen as we go into our next one. And that's 2. And then so on and so forth. For a little bit more challenge, scooch the knees back. The shoulders are still over the wrists, but now my legs are in line with the spine. So just like the plank in our burpees, I don't want the hips to sag down, but I don't want them to be really lifted high either. I want that nice in between. Again, I'm not sticking the butt up. I'm really scooching it under and really engage those abs. So this creates a little bit more tension, of course, in the abdomen, but also in the arms as you transfer down to the elbows and back up to the hands. Again, doing our repetitions here, take your time. It'll be even more important of this placement of the hand when you press out. Watch the elbow doesn't flare. Tuck it in close to the side. Press up there. You can use this other hand to assist if you need that extra help. And of course, if you need even more challenge, lift the knees off the ground. Still have the tailbone tuck. Watch the sag of the hips or the hiking of the hips right in between. Feel those abs. Again, transferring down and up. And just like our burpees, we're going to have 3 sets of each, 12 reps, 30 seconds in between each set. Again, I'll demonstrate each level here. So starting with our tabletop. So get ready. This is set number 1. Find the tuck of the hips no matter what level you're doing. Feel those abs. Here we go. Lowering down. 1. Press up. 2. Press up. 3. Press up. Go into our kneeling plank. 4. 5. 6. Use in control as possible. 7. And try the knees up. 8. Don't forget to breathe. 9. 10. 11. And 12. Good deal. Woo. And breathe. Again, get those big inhales. I know we're probably sitting on the ground right now, but again, see if you can sit up tall, get as much air in those lungs as possible. Make those exhales longer than your inhales. I really hope you're breathing during the exercises. What I really like to do is like whenever there's the most tension, that's when I exhale. It's like I'm releasing pressure out of the piston. All right, set number 2. Are we ready? Got the tuck of the hips. Here we go. Elbows down. And up. 2. Up. 3. Up. 4. Up. Kneeling plank. 5. Up. 6. Up. 7. Up. 8. Up. Almost there. Full plank. 9. Up. 10. Up. 11. Up. And 12. Up. Good. Woo. All right. That's 2 down. 1 more set to go. Breathe again. Again, we have about 30 seconds of rest time. You shake it out. Really shake out the arms. I know the arms are doing a lot of work here. Of course, our core is doing a lot of work here. So be patient with it. All right, set number 3, final set of these plank up downs. Here we go. Find the tuck, no matter what level you're doing. Here we go. And 1, and up. 2, feel the squeeze of those abs, and up. 3, try not to make the hips wobble. 4, especially when you're in your kneeling or full plank. 5, 6, 7, keep those elbows in close. 8, 9, almost there. Push through. 10, 11, 12. Woo. Good deal. Taking the knees down. You're in that full plank again. Take that deep inhale. Relax with that long, long, long exhale. Plank up downs are done, guys. Donezo. Hooray, right? All right, so this next one is your bicycle kicks. So go ahead and keep recovering. Grab that drink of water. For this one, you're lying down on the ground, flat on your back. So the first level of this one is simply a hold. So for the duration that I'm doing the exercise, you can just simply hold this until I'm done, and then again, you can return with that rest for 30 seconds. So I'm gonna bring the knees up. This is the first level. Bring the knees up. I'm gonna think about that natural curve in my low spine. I'm gonna press it actively into the ground. You guessed it, engaging more abs. Lots of core today, guys. So really engage those abs by pressing the low back curve into the floor. You can increase this tension by lifting the shoulders off the ground. Watch, it's not lifting the head and cranking the head up, but lift the shoulders off the ground. Think about those ribs you're trying to pull down to the hips. So you can hold this position. Again, breathe. If you have a lot of stuff on your ceiling, you can think about your nose is poking up to a spot on the ceiling right above you. And don't forget to breathe. Actively pressing the low back curve into the ground. For the actual bicycle kick, you can start with your head on the ground, but again, low back curve pressing. I'm going to grab onto one knee. Personally, I like to point my toes, but grab onto one knee, and then with this other leg, I'm going to slowly extend it out as far as I can without the low back curve popping off the ground. So this is a nice little exercise, not just for the abs, but for honesty as well, self-honesty. How far out can you go, honestly, without that low back curve popping off the ground? And then you'll switch sides, and then go to the other side. So there's a little bit of a catch with this one. We have two sides, which means we're gonna do 12 reps on each side. It's gonna be lots of fun, guys. All right, so that's level one. We're level two, grab the knees. Level one is the hold, the shoulder lift. Level three will be taking the hands either behind the ears, or they can stay on the floor, again, low back curve, pressing into the ground, and just moving the legs back and forth. Again, being honest about how far out you can extend. If you can go all the way out without the low back curve popping off the ground, again, we want to engage the abs, you do that as well. And then also there's the option of level four, nope, 1, 2, 3, 4, I lost count. If you guys are a private client of mine, counting is not my forte. So whatever level this is the highest one we'll do today. Press that low back curve to the ground, raise the shoulders. I've got my hands behind my ears, not my head. Behind the ears. I'm going to take opposite elbow to opposite knee as that leg extends out, bring it back, and then same thing for the other side. Again, the low back curve press into the ground is your indicator if you've got the abs on. All right, so starting our workout now. Again, option one, you have that low back curve and hold for the duration of this. Otherwise, I'll demonstrate the other levels. So here we go. Low back curve, press the ground, no matter what level that you're doing. Here we go. And 1, 2, don't forget to breathe. 2, 3, go as far as you can. 4 without losing the abs. 5, every time I say a number, that's a good time to exhale. 6, like that. This one's 8, another level, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 12. Woo. Set the legs down. You can flop if you want to. Again, resting for 30 seconds. Shake it out. Again, you have time to take a sip of water. For this one, I would recommend tiny sips, because we're contracting that abdomen, which contracts your stomach and your intestines and everything, so you don't want to put a lot of pressure in there, on this break. All right, continuing to rest. I'm going to go ahead and set up for the next one. Again, you always have the option to hold. All right, set number 2. Here we go. Low back curve pressed in the ground. Grabbing the knee, option 1, here we go. And 1. Again, exhale every time I say a number. 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, here's another level, 5, 5, you can always raise the shoulders off the ground as well, 6, 6 with any of these to make it more challenging, 7, 7, 8, 8, here's your next level, 9, 9, 10, 10, 11, 11, 12, and 12. Woo. All right, 2 sets done, 1 to go. Again, you can take the time to sit upright, breathe, we can flop for a little bit. Again, catching that breath. You really want to make sure you're not holding your breath with this one. It creates too much tension internally. So give that tension somewhere to go. Exhale as those legs extend out. And then inhale as that knee pulls back in. All right. Getting ready for our final set. Here we go. Setting up, low back curve pressing the ground. Setting up the knees. Again, option to hold. Squeeze those abs. Here we go. And 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Again, you do not have to extend out as far as I can. 5, be honest with yourself. 6, 6, 7, 7, 8, 8. Here's your final one. 9, 9, 10, 10, 11, 11, 12, and 12. Woo! All right, 3 sets of those are done. Here's the good news about the last 2 exercises. You're still on the floor, but if you need to get up, walk around, shake it out, go to the bathroom, I don't know, you can pause the video and then do what you need to do. As you continue to recover, I'll explain this last one. It's a side V up. This is probably gonna be, this is probably my favorite oblique exercise ever. I love this one. So you're on your side, surprise, surprise, right? So you're on your side, and typically with a lot of exercises, we have the legs in line with the spine. Not with the side V up. I'm actually gonna keep those feet flexed, and I'm going to move them forward a little bit, so when I look down, I can easily see my feet there. And then this bottom arm is out in front, the top arm reaches overhead. So the obliques are between the side of the ribs and the hips, so I want to think about those 2 points are converging in towards one another during this exercise. So option 1, I can use this front hand to assist as I push down into the floor. Really think about those 2 points are coming in towards one another as I reach to the front of my ankle here. This is where I'm also going to exhale. And then inhale as I return to the start. You want to see if you can have as much control as possible on the way down. So option 1 is to raise just one leg. Again, pause at the top, feel those obliques squeeze, and then control back down. Option 2, or level 2, is to raise both legs at the same time, still reaching for the front of the ankle and keeping the legs together as much as possible. If you're a little bit more familiar with this exercise, and you've only been doing the one-legged one for a while, just sprinkle in a 2-legged one. You might surprise yourself that you could do it. So just give it a shot. You might, it might be pretty cool. So again, just like the bicycle kicks, we have 2 sides. So we're doing 12 on one side, we're gonna flip over and do 12 on the other. Again, see if you can stay with me. This is actually a slower paced one than you would think and probably hope. So here we go. So have that arm overhead, you got the legs in line with each other, but kicked forward so you can easily see them when you look down. So you're like a wide V shape is the goal here. And here we go. Take an inhale and exhale on the way up. 1, control down. 2, feel those obliques. 3, 4, bring those 2 points together. 5, 6, you might feel the outer thigh as well. 7, here's a 2-legged one. 8, again, exhale when I say a number. 9, 10. Do your best not to hold your breath on this one. 11 and 12. All right, we're gonna flip on over to the second side. Arm out in front, legs together, kick out in front so you can see your feet. Legs are straight, arm overhead. Here we go. 1, exhale. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, some two-legged ones, 8, control on the way down, 9, 10, use this bottom arm to assist as much as you need, 11, and 12, good deal. Woo. All right, and relax. Again, I'm gonna sit up and breathe, just fill up those lungs, so you can get a long exhale. If you've been breathing during the exercises, it's a lot faster to recover your breath than if you hold your breath. If you hold your breath and you're done, you're like, so again, see if you can exhale. Again, where the tension is the highest. Use that pressure release. It's gonna help your recovery a lot on that 30 seconds. Speaking of which, let's set up our next one. Going back to your first side, legs together, kick out in front, arm overhead, bottom arm in front. Here we go. Inhale. Exhale, lift. 1, 2. Sprinkle in a couple two-legged ones if you want. 3, 4. Feel those obliques. 5, 6. Just a couple two-legged ones. 7, 8, 9, 10. Feel those obliques. 11. Control on the way down. And 12. Good. And flip over. Get a tiny break here, but see if we can set up as quickly as possible. Arm in front. Top arm overhead. Legs straight and kicked forward. Here we go. And inhale. 1, 2. Reach for the front of that ankle. 3. It's okay if you don't touch it. Just aim for it. 4, 5, and 6. Some two-legged ones. 7, if you want to give it a shot. 8, 9, control down. 10, feel those obliques. 11, and 12. Good deal. Woo. All right, coming on up. Again, recover. I like that big inhale and a long exhale after I'm done. Again, I hope you're not holding your breath. It's so painful actually after a while. Keep that breath flowing. It's a good way to train the nervous system too. Anytime that you hit some stress, breathe. Make sure you're not clamming up and holding. Learn how to exhale when you feel tension. It'll really help out in a lot of life principles as well. More on that later. So, setting up for our third and final exercise for this one. Bottom arm in front, top arm overhead, legs together, butt kicked in front. Here we go. Feeling the obliques. Pull the ribs and the hips together. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here's a couple two-legged ones. 7, 8. Control down as best you can. 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good. And flip. Almost done, guys. Final 12 of this whole exercise. You're doing great. Whew. Here we go. Bottom arm in front, top arm overhead, legs straight and kicked in front. Here we go. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Feeling those obliques. 6. Two-legged ones. 7, 8. Exhale. 9, 10, 11. Almost there. Last one. 12. Good deal. Control on the way down. Woo. All right. Get a big inhale. Exhale. Continue to recover. Grab your water. Take a sip. Continue to recover. Here is your last exercise of the day. Hooray, hooray. So this one, we're going to flip over to our bellies. So this one is going to work our low back muscles, which are also core muscles. We think about the abs and the obliques a lot, about our core, but it also includes the muscles that run along the spine. Super important for the core's function, which the core's #1 function is to stabilize the spine. So we definitely want to work those muscles that run along the side of the spine, right? So this exercise will do it. So to help protect the low back a little bit more, we're going to do 2 things. 1, I'm going to press the pubic bone down into the floor, and then I'm going to squeeze the butt muscles. So 1, pubic bone into the floor, 2, squeeze the butt muscles. Option 1 is to do the normal Superman. You can have the hands underneath the shoulders or behind or by the sides. No matter which one you're doing, with any of these options actually, you want to make sure the shoulder blades are squeezed back as well. Watch they're not loosey-goosey. So shoulder blades squeeze back. You're going to lift the chest and the knees off the ground, pressing the pubic bone into the floor and the glute squeeze, and then control down. And so again, lift with an exhale, and then inhale, control down. So that's option number 1. Option number 2, you're gonna have your arms out in a T position. I like to have thumbs because it gives me a direction to go. So I'm gonna think about lifting those hands up, away from the floor. Again, squeezing the shoulder blades back. Really reach through the knuckles so the back of the arms are squeezed. And you're gonna lift here. 1, arms can set down in between. 2, etc., etc. And then for the most challenging one, instead of the arms out to the side, you're gonna lift them up a little bit. So these are called T's. And this next option I call Y's, because your body is the bottom of the Y, the arms make the top of the Y, the fork of it. So again, I like to have the thumbs pointing up, gives it a direction to go, or you can think about turning the palms up to the ceiling as much as you can. Same thing, when I lift the arms, I got the back of the arms straight and strong. When I lift them, I think about squeezing the shoulder blades back, lifting my elbows away from the floor as much as possible. So I'll lift, exhale, inhale back down. And back down, etc., etc. All right, you ready for this? Again, I'll go through your options. 3 sets of 12 and 30 seconds of rest in between. I'll give you a little counter pose with each one of these. All right, here we go. Pubic bone to the ground, glute squeeze, chest and knee lift, here we go. Shoulder blades squeeze back. 1, 2, again, exhale every time I say a number. 3, 4, T option, 5, 6, 7, hopefully you're feeling those low back muscles, 8, Y option, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good. Woo, and flop. You can flop, or you can do a child's pose, pressing back with the hips towards the heels, rounding the spine. I like to push my hands down to get my hips a little bit further back. But yeah, rounding the spine is a little counter pose. And you can also do a cat back, arching the spine up to the ceiling, especially again, tucking those hips. So it's a good way to counter that extension of the spine, like a U shape going upwards. So we're not used to this pose of back bend as option. So providing a counter pose gives a little bit of relief. All right, but you have 2 more sets to go. So prepping for set number 2. In option 1, I'll have another variation of the first option here. Pubic bone pressing the ground, glute squeeze, shoulder blades pinch back. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hands are off the ground. 5. Oop. Here's the T1s. 6, 7, 8, and some Y's. 9, reach through those arms. 10, feel those triceps. 11, and 12. Woo. And push back into your cat back, or your child's pose, whichever you prefer. But most importantly, make sure you're breathing. Breathe on that recovery. Shake it out a little bit. We have one more set to go for this whole workout. You guys are doing great. Just think about it. You're 30 seconds or less towards the end of your day, of your workout day rather. You might have the rest of your day to go. I don't know when you're watching this and doing this. Either way, I just know I'm proud of you because you did something for yourself. Something good for your body, which in turn will help so many aspects of your life. All right, third and final exercise of the day. Here we go. Pubic bone press to the ground, glute squeeze, shoulder blades pinch back no matter what level you're doing. Here we go. Chest and knee lift. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's some T's. 5, 6, 7, 8, and some Y's. 9, 10, 11, and 12. Good deal. All right. Woo. Do a celebratory cat back or child's pose. Again, countering that round spine. Pressing those hips towards the heels if you're doing the child's pose. Really tuck the hips under if you're doing the cat back. Of course, breathe. Get that long exhale going. All right, awesome job today, guys. Make sure you do some stretches. You can hang out in that child's pose actually for a while if you'd like. Get some water, get some good recovery in. Proud of you guys. See you next time.